Hi guys, this is Omer from MMOs.com. Do a quick first impressions gameplay video for World of Kings, a free-to-play mobile MMORPG developed and published by a Chinese company called ZLOONG. Yes, funny name. Anyway, I'll spend 10 to 15 minutes running around shaking this game out. Comments if you guys do want to play World of Kings or just learn more about it, do check the little review on MMOs.com on the link below. And we are obviously playing a female dwarf, which more looks like a typical lolly character than a dwarf, though the male dwarf looks more, stereotypical dwarfish in the game. Right off the bat, the game has 9 playable classes, which is surprisingly decent for any game, and 4 playable races. But more interestingly, upon reaching level 40, you have 3 path advancements for each class, for a total of 27 playable characters, which is definitely not bad. So the mage can become a battle mage, for example, an arcane scholar, or a crystal shaper, which are more advanced job advancements for your character. Now, while character choice options with classes are kind of good, where the game kind of falls flat right away is your appearance customization options are definitely lackluster. You have 6 skin colors, you have 6 hair colors, a few eye options, and a few mouth options, and that's it. There just really isn't that much to play with, unfortunately, both literally and figuratively in the game. So not much to play with in the game in terms of appearance. But let's go jump into my character, which I already have, which you probably guess is already the female lolly character. No surprise, level 29 already. I've been traveling around a bit lately, and I've had a chance to play this game on the go, so I'll jump to my character to show you what World of Kings is all about. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Typical mobile MMORPG, I expect a lot of autoplay nonsense. Though enjoy a happy life is to bring happiness to others. The charm also works in real life. Thank you, World of Kings. I need some real life tips in my loading screens from you guys. So while this definitely has autoplay elements like you've seen in plenty of other mobile MMORPGs, it has a lot of that stuff going for it. It's definitely probably the biggest weakness in my eyes, but it's a technically very impressive game. I mean, the game runs really well. It has this very World of Warcraft-like aesthetic to it, which is no surprise. I mean, a lot of the game is very much inspired by World of Warcraft. And very much inspired, I do mean they did copy the look and feel in many regards, which is definitely not a bad thing because World of Warcraft is an awesome game. And musically as well, it has a very WoW-esque epic soundtrack sometimes and charming background music, and it's very similar to WoW. It's because the lead composer for this game is actually the guy who worked on the soundtrack for World of Warcraft, Diablo 3, Hearthstone, and some of the other big WoW expansions. So I mean, no surprise, they shelled out good money to get great music in this game, and it really does show. So while we look around the game, I want to queue up for a daily dungeon right now. So if you've played any of these mobile MMORPGs, there are some stereotypical things you can look out for right away. You do kind of have your battle points in the game, your battle power, which is hidden away elsewhere. I think in my character's at 880, which kind of measures your character's overall strength. You equip new gear, your battle power goes up and whatnot. One thing, they always have these overwhelming interfaces where you have tons of things on your screen at once. Whether it's, there's so many menus. There's just so many ways to, improve your character. I mean, there's just so many different options over here. It can definitely feel a bit overwhelming at first. We can look at our mercenary menu, for example. You can see all these characters you can recruit, and you can send them off on their own little missions. I know Neverwinter has a system like this. World of Warcraft does as well. It's kind of like a side system where you can basically just get freebies for sending out your characters to these missions. And once the timer runs down, you get various random rewards. There's also this treasure system, which almost like the Clash of Clans like system, where or Clash Royale rather, where you open these chests and you get random rewards, but it takes 3 hours to open the chest. So there's a lot of little systems they put into the game to kind of was there another chest inside my chest? Nice. Use now. Open this bad boy up, and we can open up another silver chest. We have 10 of these bad boys to open through, and start unlocking. It's a nice 3-hour countdown, and just a little thing you can do while you play. It's got a lot of Chinese elements to it, without a doubt. But the few things I was impressed with is it's got this wide open world that looks really beautiful, really good audio in the game, and the actual core gameplay, the core combat is not bad. That's actually where the game is somewhat impressive. I mean, there is a lot of autoplay in the game. When you first start playing, basically till when you first start playing till around level 25 is when the game really starts opening up. Until level 25, you're basically just auto-questing throughout the entire game. Maybe we could do an auto-quest right now while we wait till, let's go do our, let's see, recommended. We do have to gain some experience. These are mostly queues where we can do over here. There are daily quests we can do as well, actually, which we should probably do while we wait. We got, there we go, search the haystack for this one. So the game world itself is large and persistent, but you don't really get a good chance to explore it. I mean, it's a big world. Our queue popped right now. Enter dungeon. And you can't explore it because while you're questing, this little icon appears that lets you auto-teleport to all your quest locations. So at no point do you really get a good feel for the world itself. So even this ready check menu looks like World of Warcraft. And you'll see when I kill a boss and I get a ton of experience, even that looks like World of Warcraft, the way the experience shows up over your head. And these are all a bit odd to see, but it's not a bad thing. I mean, if they're going to copy any game, you might as well copy World of Warcraft. All right, here we go. Doing our dungeon right now. It's a random dungeon. And the PC game World of Kings is probably most I mean, besides visually being like World of Warcraft, I would say it's probably a lot like Revelation Online in its core gameplay mechanics, because First, let's go put ourselves on nice autoplay over here, boys. Easy autoplay mode. We're doing some daily questing, daily dungeons, so these aren't particularly difficult. I do like this DPS music in the top right, but the way, once the game opens up upon reaching level 25, level 30-ish, what you basically do is when you log in, you run through all your dailies. You have 150 stamina, and you go every dungeon takes 10 stamina. You go through 15 dungeons a day, and you do all your daily side quests, and you do everything else throughout the day. That's basically your rundown in World of Kings. And it's the same way in a game like Revelation Online. You know, you basically do your dailies every time you log in, and that's about it. Your actual like move in the game feels really good. For example, like if I want to dodge attack, dodge attacks, I can click my arcane teleport over there, my little backflip ability. A lot of these abilities feel very satisfying to use. Though for these really easy dungeons, there's not much thinking required. But there are boss fights in this game which are pretty impressive. I mean, not this dungeon. This like the first dungeon is kind of lame, but the next dungeon actually, you see mechanics which you've seen in like real MMORPGs, like Final Fantasy XIV, like Living Bomb, where you have to actually move away from your party and you can explode in X amount of time. You got the typical, giant red circles beneath your character you gotta dodge. So there are actual MMORPG elements here which actually are somewhat challenging later on that you can't do with autoplay. But these first few dungeons are super easy, as to be expected. But if you look at some late game stuff, it definitely does get a bit harder. I mean, I do like that these games are getting visually better and better. I mean, I would say this is a very technically impressive game in terms of like how well it runs and what it does on mobile. But where it kind of falls flat for me personally is just, I've already played the game for a few hours already, so I put some time into it. Where it falls flat is just, it becomes very monotonous in terms of what you're doing every day with the daily grind. I mean, there's so many ways to progress your character with pets, mercenaries, like the gear grind, and there are a lot of ways to do that, which is interesting, but it becomes like a checkbox style gameplay. If you've played Revelation Online, you'll know what I'm talking about, where you log in to go through your check marks. And, any MMORPG, I would say once you get to the mega late game, your rating is when games become checkboxy anyway. We're doing weekly resets, but this becomes kind of like checkboxy right from the get-go, which is definitely a little, not my cup of tea, but this is what we've seen in a lot of mobile MMORPGs. I mean, we've seen this in a lot of the mobile MMOs as well, so it's not particularly a downside specifically to World of Kings. I think it's a problem with mobile MMORPGs in general. But I'm very impressed with where these games have gone over the last like 5-6 years. I mean, I don't think they're quite where PC MMORPGs are in my heart, but they're clearly getting visually better. Even the experience, they made the experience, purple over there looks very similar to the WoW look. Again, it's no problem. I mean, if you can copy a game, you might as well copy World of Warcraft. No problems there. So if we die, we get 2 revives over here as well, so it's no biggie. So we get 5, points of strength. We put this bad boy on. My DPS rating is going up, which is basically my overall measurement for my character's strength right now. So yeah, we're on default assist mode, which means you're going to start attacking automatically. Though your autoplay in dungeons, it will not be dodging the attacks. So if when you're fighting bosses, some of the bosses require some actual movement, and if you don't move, you will die. So it's not going to help you with that. But fortunately, all this stuff is super easy early on, so you're not going to be dying from this. And honestly, most of these guys are probably like into grind mode. Most people, once they I found a party of 5. I imagine after this dungeon, you can see everyone's level. Everyone's going to re-queue automatically because everyone wants to keep grinding these dungeons and running out of stamina. And once you run out of stamina, you have to wait till the next day to get your stamina back. Otherwise, you get no XP, which is unfortunate. But this guy's level 38 and he's still running this dungeon because he's running, the way the experience works too. It's based on it's a percentage-based experience gain, not a flat rate. So everyone's getting a ton of experience doing these dungeons. So everyone's going to be running the dungeons over and over again to get that XP. And also, there's some side quests you can do daily as well. But there's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of guild elements in the game too, some social elements with the guild stuff where you want to. There's a lot of guild quests you can do to advance your guild. So try to join a guild with friends if you're gonna go down that avenue. But I just joined the random guild right now because I don't really care. Let's kill this Eldritch guy over here. Though none of my friends really play this game just yet, just me and my brother at the moment. And I do like the DPS meters are there because I think every game should put these in dungeons. But there's not too much to work on with like rotation, like. PC MMORPGs have a rotation. Here, when you're fighting difficult enemies, you basically have to like not die. You gotta use the skill shots and your mobility in the game to actually get out of the way for abilities, which feels satisfying when you do it. Though this particular dungeon has like no intense boss fights. Unfortunately, I kind of wish my random dungeon queue found something a little bit better. But this game is fairly popular for the time being, and I'm glad to see these MMORPGs getting better. It just the autoplay elements. I feel like they can put the autoplay elements for a lot of the They should put the autoplay elements for like maybe the world questing, which all these games seem to have. But I think the dungeons, at least, maybe the first time you play through them, shouldn't have any kind of autoplay whatsoever, which I think would make a lot more sense. Get you a little more invested in the dungeons a bit. But I imagine, again, once you're doing the harder content, the autoplay is not going to cut it. I mean, in fact, how much this game is inspired by WoW is pretty remarkable. If you see some of the other quests in the game, you have a lot of quests where you basically Like, you're riding on a griffin, throwing bombs, killing these NPCs on the bottom floor. Like, if you played through WoW, WoW has a ton of quests like that. Or even like you're basically on a cannon and you're shooting cannons at a bunch of peasants. And you gotta kill like 30 of them or something. So like so many of the quests are inspired by WoW. I mean, visually, musically, and like some of the design decisions are clearly inspired by WoW. But I do love the visuals and I love the music in the game. Those two things have done really well. We kill this boss, get some RNG loots. We are level 30 now. Nice. So now once we leave this area, we can start completing our next quest. We just unlocked our next set of main story. Even the achievements! That achievement window looked a lot like WoW. But again, these aren't bad things. Because, you know, might as well copy WoW if anything. I mean, there's really only been, I would say, a handful of mobile MMORPGs which aren't autoplay heavy. And those would be games like the Azabimo games from the Japanese studio Azabimo. But this game just looks beautiful and runs really well. So it is a very technically impressive game in my eyes. Which, you know, if you want to see what mobile MMORPGs would look like, it can do. Like, I can see the future of mobile MMORPGs getting better. Like, I can see it. I'm not sure if we're quite there yet, but I do like the direction, at least, you know, technically where these games are going. I just want to see the design decisions in terms of autoplay and whatnot change a bit. Let's rank this boss over. So this boss is really easy. You're not really, like, we're not gonna get hit by him. But like, honestly, if we just stood still, he's not gonna kill us anyway. Like, I could just stand perfectly still right here and have no chance of dying. But I do like to play manually sometimes, just because like it's fun. You know, when I'm playing a game, I want to manually play the game. Otherwise, I feel like I'm playing kind of quick clicker. Maybe that's why a lot of these MMORPGs have not clicked with me a lot. Like, I might be the only one actually moving around these games and like casting my abilities sometimes. Like, I usually don't turn on autoplay, but when I'm recording, it's a bit harder to actually like cast my abilities. So now let's go dodge this ability, for example. Boom, easy juke over there. And actually, the tick rates are surprisingly good too. Like, if you're out of the orange circle when it hits, you're not gonna take any damage. Whereas in a game like Final Fantasy 14, if you're anywhere near it, like 1 second after it goes off, you're still gonna take damage. Dodge these abilities. See, these are all insta-cast abilities. These bad boys. These 4. Again, we're on autoplay anyway, so like in terms of our attacking. Their movement, though, I'm glad the autoplay doesn't make you dodge attacks, you know, on your own. But again, with how easy this particular dungeon is, we can just stand still and kill it anyway. But it does feel nice to get out of the way for these abilities. And later on, if you watch videos of late game dungeons, you know, you do have to move out pretty quickly, otherwise you're gonna get one shot by these AoEs. And of course, it goes without saying, I don't know why I waited this long to mention it, that every single one of these mobile RPGs, especially the Chinese, and both the Chinese and Korean developed ones, are all have heavy pay-to-win elements. If you want to get tons of XP, tons of items, tons of everything, every advantage in the book, you can pay for it straight up. I mean, that goes without saying at this point, where, you know, there are pay-to-win elements without a doubt. I mean, there's PvP elements in this game too, and of course you can, you know, gain advantage there too with paying. Like, pretty much anywhere in the game you can pay for goodies. And we just finished this dungeon. Most of you guys are probably going to re-queue. We can see the damage. We had the double S rating. I think it goes to the triple S too, so it wasn't the best rating. But you do have to run these dungeons for these shards, which you can use to upgrade your gear. Let's go leave this party real quick. The Tempest Queen normal. Let me show you my talent trees in the game. I think you get like a 1 or 2. I think you get some free resets too, but you can upgrade your skills that way too. Your talents, your skills. You can actually individually buff the skills you like. The upgradable menu, boys. Let's take a look. We upgrade our ice block, which you haven't even seen. And of course, it's ice block from WoW that a mage would have. Upgrade the skill. Requires some money. You got some Serenity shards to add some bonuses to it, which we don't have any of these just yet. But you can get these Serenity shards by grinding the dungeons. Upgrade everything over there. Let's go jump into our talent points. Let's go max our casting speed up over there. Save. And we get our next set real quick. Free reset before awakening. So as long as you do your you can reset your talents as much as you want before level 40. After you awaken, I guess there'll be some kind of cost to do that. We'd upgrade that too, but we're not going to do that right now. There's a bunch of PvP options as well. There's just these games can feel a bit overwhelming with the UI, but if you played, you know, any of these mobile MMORPGs, they're all pretty similar in that regards. They can always feel they all feel pretty overwhelming. So to go talk to His Majesty. And I was saying earlier, like, you don't get a chance to really appreciate the scale of the world. It's a persistent open world, but the scale is lost because you click on this button, boom, you teleport right to your quest location. And by boom, I mean it takes a few seconds, but boom, here we go. We're here. So you don't get a good feel of where things are. You know, because of the autoplay plus the auto teleporting, you just don't know where things are very often. And again, visually, it does look pretty beautiful. There's voice acting for a lot of cutscenes too, but you know, it's not particularly great, but not particularly awful either.
May the light be with you.
May the light be with you. That's totally a thing you just hear from random guards in Stormwind in World of Warcraft as well. Like, it's so obvious. Let's talk to our king over here, Frandas Ebora. The game has a pretty fun the game actually refers to like Scarlet Monastery in World of Warcraft in one funny meme. There's a place in the game called I'll show you the map in a second while our character auto runs. There's a place over here called the Twilight Monastery, and they want the NPCs to ask you like the name of that dungeon in a quiz. If you answer correctly, you get a reward. And one of the 4 options is Scarlet Monastery. which obviously is from World of Warcraft, and it sounds like Twilight Monastery. Let's talk to the Crusader over here, boys. It's good to see you again. Any news? So again, a lot of the, we're gonna be auto questing now that we unlocked a new setup. We got new artifacts we can upgrade to. Nice. We got a new set of main story quests we can run through, and these are all basically done on autoplay mode. And you friend request 1, nice. Probably this guy just added me because there's a quest where you have to add a random person to your friends list, and they have to accept for you to finish your quest. That's why he added me. I just wish the world. And look, we're in a place called Darkwood. Like this could totally be Duskwood, like for World of Warcraft. I mean, the dark aesthetic is so obvious still. Commander of the Knights Templar. It's just funny they called it Darkwood, you know, as well. So there's clearly WoW inspirations, but it's a technically impressive game. If you wanna, like, you don't have to play it, but like just. I downloaded my. I think it looks better actually on my iPhone than it does on the emulator, which I'm playing it on right now, the PC emulator, just to record for YouTube. I think it looks better on my iPhone, but it looks beautiful. I just wish it didn't have some of the glaring issues, at least that I find with a lot of mobile MMORPGs in general. So those are the really only things holding me back from, you know, really recommending this game outright to anyone. It's just a lot of the autoplay elements are there, and I just find them tough to get over because I play mostly PC MMORPGs. But visually impressive, musically impressive. And I can see a future where mobile MMORPGs are, you know, much better. But yeah, if you like what you see, guys, do check out the game. Link in the description below. But yeah, that's World of Kings, boys. Check out my cute character. Give me those emotes. But the emotes are not nearly as impressive as those sick Final Fantasy 14 emotes. But yeah, anyway, guys. Later.